Hello? 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 Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, I ate a little bit. I put that heat on my back again. And we are going to power through these last 2 hours. 3 hours down, 2 hours left. I'm going to probably lose a little bit at the beginning of the game. It'll be fine. Time to get back in it. I'm stuck at 172 Thompson. That means there's emotions there. It's okay, Shaz. This is an organic journey. There's emotions there. You do have 7 hours left, though, to get through the rest of this New York shit. Catch up to the present. It's okay. Let the emotions come out. Now we are to freedom to peaceful. And then I'll have... Oh, am I going to do Untitled? Untitled, I'm just going to read that. I'll take an hour just to read. I'll just do that. And I'll just keep talking about it. Yeah, and then one more day. One more day this weekend. Maybe not this weekend. My folks said I don't have to wrap this up. We're going tomorrow to... Today's Friday. We're going to go tomorrow to take my dad to brunch for his birthday. And then we're going to... What else? I think he's going to dinner with some other people. My mom and my dad are being taken out to dinner. And then Sunday, I don't know what we're doing Sunday. I don't do these on the weekend because my parents are home on the weekend. If they come home early, I'll cut these. Can't fucking be talking openly like this. My mom will be like, why you gotta curse so much? Why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about that? Why don't you talk about Jesus? But now I'll be like, Trump has 6,500 sealed indictments. What do you say about that? Everyone hears the same bullshit. They're all eating the same propaganda, which is feeding into identity and emotion and shit. I'm not doing this out of ego. I'm doing this so I could go and inspect other people's words and other people's fucking blind spots, which is how we're being preyed upon politically through the narratives. Big data. They know everything about you, the war is being fought on the front of consciousness. So you have to know who the fuck you are. What is real, what is not real. That's kind of funny, but kind of not funny. Do you know all your insecurities? Do you know different ways that you're being manipulated? Well, I am shoring up my defenses. I am sure I'll have insecurities, but I won't know what they are. I'm analyzing them all. Be able to stand, face life, just say, I know who I am. I'm not perfect, but I know who the fuck I am. I know what's in my head. And then you can start picking out these fucking pieces, these fucking propaganda shit. It's like, there was a time we didn't go into Iraq, remember that? And we didn't go into Afghanistan. Now people are fucking getting mad at Trump for taking out the troops. Trump's a dumbass. And he's probably trying to privatize this war. Fucking hand it off to Eric Prince. And he's doing that with everything else in the government. Same day he says he's withdrawing the troops from Afghanistan and Syria, he's opening up Alaska and fucking Arctic drilling. It's all the same pattern. He's fire selling the government. But it's interesting, strange bedfellows they are, the Republicans and Democrats who are saying we should stay in there. And where's the justification? Well, this is the way that we manage the world empire. Why do the United States, why was I supposed to be sent over there to manage the world for corporate profits? Or to manage the empire? Because these guys, some of them believe it religiously. It's not even for profits. You blame the Republican because he's trying to make money. What's the fucking Democratic excuse? The Pelosi's and the Obamas for prosecuting empire around the world. They believe in the religion of American might. And the world's just going to fall apart if we didn't fucking always try to stick our dick in everything. Come on. $6 trillion for the war. $6 trillion for the war. $8 trillion for the interest. Who made more money? Money makes money. Who owns the money? Who owns the iron ore, as MLK said? Why do we have to pay for water in a world that is 2/3, 3/4 water? I don't remember the fractions, but I remember he said it. Why don't we have the freedom to be peaceful? Let me ask someone like Joe Rogan. All he's going to tell me is to buy some of his dick pills and his fake vaginas. Fucking, you are what you sell, Joe. You fucking vagina. Stop being mean to Joe Rogan. He's a good man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a capitalist. He is a go-getter. He's short, but he works out a lot to make up for the fact that he has a small penis. And we will not talk anymore about Joe Rogan's penis, or the size, or the lack thereof. There's no reason for anyone to fucking be curious about the size of Joe Rogan's penis. Why would anyone, fucking me, whoever's watching this, fucking Joe Rogan himself, why would anyone care about the size of Joe Rogan's penis? Or be curious about it? Want a picture of it? Want to know? Google it. Freedom to be peaceful. Who foresees the future, the poet or the king? Has the crown been wearing down? Do lyrics give us wings? Will we go from town to town, sharing many things? The freedom to be peaceful. The peace that freedom brings. Who foresees the future? The poet or the king? Will we go from town to town, sharing many things? Has the crown been wearing down, or do lyrics give us wings? Didn't quite remember this one. Oh, I think I skipped one. The freedom to be peaceful, Mr. Bond. Or the peace that freedom brings. Oh. 2 more hours, Shaz. 2 more hours for today, and then 1 more day. And we are done with your video journal. I still have to talk about these documents and how they fit into my narrative. I got stuck. I'm talking about pooks. My little pookity pook pooks. Anyways, we're limbered up. We're good. My back is good. In between these videos, I am using the heat on my back. So, what are we going to talk about? We're at 172 Thompson. We're at 172 Thompson, and I'm dating Pooks. Pooks is seeing someone at the moment. Who is she seeing? She was seeing, she was seeing a financial executive. Not an executive, a financial guy. He might be a douchebag, he might not. That's how it is in New York. You meet a beautiful girl. Oh. She comes to my fucking, I was doing the share apartments thing. She comes in and she's a fucking pretty girl, always has people interested in her. Pretty intelligent girl, come on. Fucking top of her class, come on. Top school in her profession, come on. Fucking tiny little booty shorts, what's she doing? What you doing, Pooks? And then fucking, she, so we open the door and we're like, the guy is like trying to check out the room. And the thing about the share apartments is I have to switch it on them. It's a bit of a bait and switch. It's not a bait and switch. You're really not supposed to do a bait and switch, but there's no truth in advertising. I go right up to the line. I'm like, this is a contact sport. What the fuck do you want? When people would ask me, is that apartment available? I'm like, I would just have my plausible, that's like what you do in politics. It's not, I'm trying to invent a new way to do politics accountable to the people, by the people, for the people. But I know how to do what they do. That's the whole point. I know I do what you do. Can you do what I do? I was protesting. I was writing stuff. I was trying to change the world with my fellow idealists. And y'all said that was stupid. Colbert and the late shows, the ones that are supposed to be progressive. Colbert dresses up as Che Guevara and comes down and acts like a jackass. You just make yourself look like a jackass in the historic record. Because we're trying to fucking say shit that needs to be said. And what do you have to say except stupid ass jokes day after day? You live a Groundhog Day existence. Talking about celebrity and vapid culture, and we wonder why your fucking eyes are dead. You have no fucking soul. No fucking nothing interesting worth saying in it. You say it over and over again because you have the microphone. Isn't that the story of our culture? People with a microphone and nothing left to say. And we just watch them because we're bored. That doesn't mean you're entertaining. David Letterman's. That's why, what's his name, stopped doing it. The actual cool one who was in a band. He had a drug addiction. He was an alcoholic for a little bit. Craig Ferguson. But he seemed like a normal human being. People are shit talking Britney Spears, and he stopped, and you couldn't fucking look it up on the internet. He's like, no, let's talk about addiction. Let's not make cheap jokes about someone who's down in their life right now. Let's actually talk about addiction and people and human beings. And then you can tell that in his compassion he showed, more than the average late night host. In his intelligence, the women, he actually had banter and sexual chemistry, because women are attracted to real men of real substance and value. Not people like fucking Stephen Colbert, the fucking Jon Stewarts. These are failed comedians who this is their vanity job. It's like, yeah, this is a steady paycheck. Now act like a dumbass. Fucking just do what we say. That's Comedy Cemetery. Stand up. That's why people like Jimmy Fallon doesn't have a real laugh. Yeah, how can you? They're not saying real shit. They're just there to fucking distract us from the real news, right? Jerry Seinfeld would say, isn't it funny? It's not funny, how? That's not Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal about the newspaper? It's amazing that the entire world's news fits exactly in the newspaper every day. Everything going on in the news, everything going on in the world, every single day, fits right into the newspaper. Like there's no maps, hardly ever many maps, historic context. There's not a story that we're adding to, bit by bit, to better explain the world. Just emotional triggers. Get mad at the rich people. Get mad at the poor people. Fear the poor people. You're supposed to get mad at the rich people. You're going to fear the poor people. You're supposed to respect experts and authority. We're supposed to support the American empire and whatever current war is going on. From the most fancy, and then you go to the fucking poor neighborhoods in New York, you don't even get the newspaper. You get the Daily News and the New York Post, if you get that. I was in the bodega. I was like, where's the fucking New York Times on? We don't get New York Times out here. This isn't a literate neighborhood. What are you thinking about? This is a hood, boy. You can read about sports, pictures, and every now and then there's a girl in there. If the mayor fucks a fucking prostitute, we'll put that in the news. There's no long story. People complain about the idiocy of America. It's an ongoing thing. We are keeping Americans ignorant and idiotic. It's not something that just happens. It's something that's continually happening and continually being reinforced. We could stop it at any time, just like we are keeping it going every single day. Malcolm X, the man that I can't find any fault in his life, regardless of how much fucked up shit he did, he always tried, like what I'm trying to do here. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to correct towards perfection through honest introspection and sincerity. You meet very few people like that who actually are, you tell them their faults, they'll look at it and they'll change their mind if they realize they're wrong. Ego's a bitch. And justification and our biases and this and that. So Malcolm, I respect it when I hear what he fucking has to say, all the speeches you can find about him. He's like they create racism from the top down in the society. They got us angry at the Hun, and the Germans at the time. And then after World War II, he noticed how they flipped that switch. They flipped the switch during war, and we hated the Japanese and the Germans, and then right after World War II, they flipped the switch, and all of a sudden they're our best friends. Fucking intelligent people realize, they're like, this is all a fucking con. That shit, you just turn it on and off like a spigot, that racism. So he didn't have the proof, which came later on, of the Southern strategy of dividing poor blacks against poor whites in the South. On record, Republican strategists saying that shit. Malcolm didn't need that shit. He just saw the pattern, the larger pattern. We just fucking made people hate a whole class of people halfway around the world so they could go and sacrifice their life for them. Then we turned it off. That shit's not happening with the fucking Islam and Christian right after we invaded Iraq. The movie 300 came out. We have people like fucking Slam Harris, whatever the fuck his name is. Douchebag, what the fuck? Where'd that guy come from? Failed philosopher, goes to India, fucking bums around, fucking decides to be someone, comes back, gets a degree, starts writing shitty ass books and arguing them with the fucking intellectual sophistication of a emotionally stunted child. Right? Him and Jordan Peterson. It's like walking fucking Watching two autists argue about fucking their favorite crayon out of the crayon box. They wouldn't even start talking because they're like, but we have to define the terms, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking ego. It's just a dick measuring contest. It's fucking, there's no magnifying glass. It's not like you would have found him anyways. That's my new insult. Everyone I disagree with has a small dick. Look it up. Jordan Peterson. They call him Tiny Peter. Fucking, why is he so angry? I don't know. Fucking, he couldn't find his dick one morning ever since he's been fucking railing at people to clean their rooms. Why is Sam Harris so angry? I don't know. Fucking, his Audi turned into an innie, and now he has 2 belly buttons. Fucking Sam Harris. Pretends like he does BJJ. I would do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I hurt my neck. I hurt my back. Yeah, I would roll with you, Joe. I'd roll with you, but I hurt myself. Fuck a Sam Harris. Piece of shit. Why are you so angry, Shaz? Why are you so angry? Was it 16 minutes? Alright. We talked ourselves into a nice emotional stupor. So, is that how I'm going to do my blog? If I do a blog, just rant about people. I don't know, maybe. Maybe if I'm emotional, it allows other people to calm down. Maybe I can be the emotional lightning rod. But then that means I'm going to attract emotions. Do I want to do that? Do I want to attract a bunch of fucking... I could be like the fucking bug zapper, I guess. And I attract all the fucking emotional idiots. And then they could get zapped. I could be like, you put me on the porch, and I just attract the fucking... It's not really a... Not a long-term strategy, Shaz. It'll be interesting. I do like zapping. I do like fucking... I like confrontation. Why is that? I don't know. I like figuring out the truth. You need a thesis and an antithesis to create a synthesis. I should create 6 terms for mine. I got 6 terms in my fucking Shaz philosophy of life. My purples, what was it? My blues, my purples, my reds, my oranges, my yellows, my grains. You need your grains. So, we have Pooks dating her. I thought of one good memory. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So she shows up, fucking open the door. I'm like, we just right away, like the dude's supposed to fucking be. And then I talked about the fucking truth in advertising and shit. Basically, I said, look, there's a room for rent, $1,500. Someone shows up. I'm like, guess what? My name is Shaz. A lot of fucking brokers are probably doing this, and they piss people off doing it. But the thing is, you advertise a certain way, and then you just, as soon as, that was my philosophy anyways. Plausible deniability, and then I started talking about the politics and shit. So when people are like, is that apartment available? I'm like, I update my ads once a month. It may be available, it may not. No, then I would lose them right there. You have to be good at your copy. I sure on the phone. So real quickly, I pivot to the consultatory sale, and you stick with me as a broker. You pay my fee. I'll give you the service. If I hit them at the front end, it's like me telling a girl, like, are we fucking or what? You gotta. But at the same time, if I'm just trying to get laid, and I don't, that's what honesty in sales, honesty in relationships. I'm learning what the balance is between tact and lying. If you're pretending like you want a relationship with a girl, but you just want to fuck her, that's like me pretending like I'm going to show someone an apartment and the bait and switch. So that technically is wrong. You know it's wrong because it leaves people with a bad taste in their mouth, and they're not comfortable. As the girl, when you're heavy-handed trying to fucking get her in her panties, and she's expressly said that she's not looking for a hookup. There's girls who are looking for a hookup. Go find them. But so with brokering too, there's people who really don't want to pay a fee. I figured that out. But basically, what you do is if you don't put out decent bait, then you'll never get heard in the chaos which is modern advertising. Everyone is lying. Shaz is lying a little closer to the truth, because the proof is in the pudding. By the end, they give me a good review and they enjoy the service. But I have to get those people's attention. What I learned, that's why I brought up in Bonn, New York. I start these fucking stories and I don't end them. In Bonn, I learned that you can't just outright fucking lie about the price or the apartment. Well, first of all, the fucking, the legal and this and that, but that's not, markets don't function because of the fucking laws. Market functions, if you believe in economics at a foundational basis of society, that Society has natural expressions, natural social expressions. That's an anarchist idea. And natural expressions of brokering. I don't know if that's anarchist. I don't know where that is. Do anarchists believe in markets? Because they're natural expressions of society. They happen. Fucking communist Cuba, they try to outlaw markets and people are selling nickel bags of batteries in the alley. So I don't have that blind spot. I understand that humans are going to fucking market. That's just what we do. There'll be resources. We'll barter them. We'll figure out a way in order to fucking do our thing. There's a lot of fucking baggage from the capitalist. I don't even know if fucking the capitalist, like, concentration of capital is bad. But even if we're just going to fucking broker our labor and we're going to go on a moneyless society reading about these anarchist communes and this and that, you need a way in order to facilitate the transfer of goods and services in society. The crows fucking pick up shiny shit and stuff. Humans will always accumulate. And some humans will accumulate more than others. There'll be this, there'll be that. But we want a nice safety net. We want a nicer society. But you can't. Once you go against natural human expression, you start creating more problems than you are solving. That's the old Taoist way. The Tao, he talks about how you emperors with all your rules are fucking inviting confusion into the minds of man. And that's a libertarian idea, anarchist idea. But just, you don't have to be extreme with it, but you want as little government as possible. Whether we can ever have no government is a theoretical question. Why don't we that's a scientific thing that we can actually test in the laboratory or in communes, this and that. But political science is anything but. It's not people scientifically looking into the political nature of our existence. It's people defending power structures because that's how they're getting paid. Fucking like information silos. This isn't a real science. But, so anyways, so all these thoughts are going on in my mind, so I have no fucking, I'm being as moral as I can be as I abide within the system. As soon as I get a client on the phone, I let them know what's up. I am going to, when they're like, is that apartment available? That's what I would say. I would say, yeah, I'm going to give you information on that apartment, along with any others that match your criteria. I need to talk to you a little bit. It's a lot more efficient to talk a little bit and then me send you apartments that actually fit your needs. And then they'd be like, but I want to see that one apartment. I'm like, I don't just show one apartment. It's right there. That's a fucking exit ramp. You could get it off. If you agree with me, we're going to continue the discussion. So I walk them towards my pitch for my service, offering them plenty of exit ramps along the way. Whether that apartment's available or not, if you're not down for me giving you a consultation, you can get off the fucking highway. So, like, I want everyone's the same thing. They might as well all be reading from a script on their end. It's, hey, I want to see that apartment. That's great. Do you have 2 to 5 minutes? I need to ask you a couple questions. I just want to know if that apartment's available. At the end of the conversation, I'll send you a complete list of all the apartments I can show you within your criteria. It's more efficient for me to send you more information than just about one apartment. I just want that one apartment. Might not be a good fit for what I provide, then I try not to just show one apartment. What we're going to do is, after I know what you're looking for, I'll send you everything I can show. You'll have addresses, pictures. Compile your data. And then there's other ways you have to emotionally read them. What is it? What's going on here? Are they fucking... Sometimes it's your energy. Sometimes my energy puts them off. Slow down, smile, have a mirror by. I can't smile right now because I'm not in salesman mode. I'm in Chaz. Get out your emotions, blah, blah, blah. And my emotions right now is just like, fucking, what is my emotion? It's kind of up. Remembering about the money I made. I'm fucking kind of proud of what I did. So it's ego. It's the same ego as when you get those paychecks. It's like, I was good at what I did. It was interesting. Just like when I was reading about the fucking Iraq war, I was getting pissed. I'm not pissed now. I'm just kind of like, this is how you walk the streets of New York. You're just like, I'm winning. I'm fucking good. I live around the corner. This is my neighborhood. You're visiting. You're a tourist or you're from another. Everyone's coming to your neighborhood. When you live in a cool neighborhood in Manhattan, there's a big difference between you living there and everyone coming into it. Dave Chappelle comes from my neighborhood to go to the Comedy Cellar, but that's where I live. He lives in fucking bumfuck Egypt. I live around the corner. There's some comedians who live around the corner. But it's nice. It's nice feeling like you're in the heart of everything. As soon as you step out on the street, it's like, this is my fucking chess shop right across the street where Bobby Fischer used to play. It's like, it's just rich. It's like, it's a baklava. You're biting into fucking New York. You're chipping your tooth on the fucking plate. It's fucking giving you diabetes. It does. It gives you diabetes. New York does. When Jay-Z does a pop-up show, he's doing it right down the street from me. When Shia LaBeouf wants to watch all the movies and it's over here. He's doing it at the Angelica Theater right down the street from me. Everyone comes out to visit Shaz. I'm feeling like this is the center of the world, because it is in a way. It's fucking not everyone, but everyone. You can't go wrong. It's not. If you had to put your fucking pin down somewhere on this globe, it's not a bad place to observe what the fuck's going on. So yeah, so without being on the wrong side of the law, the way I covered my ass, which is, that's what it is. You get right up to the line because everyone else is, all your competition is. You cover your ass by technically doing things the right way. You get right into that shade of gray. But the Shaz sales philosophy is, as soon as we get clients on the phone, we quickly get them to reality. Because when I first started, I wouldn't. And then that's how you get, what they call it, wood or whatever. You get shitty fucking leads. You can't close bad leads. Especially not with my brand. I'm getting good reviews and good, but that's what it is. You have to realize that there's people out there who need your service. You just got to find them. But you need to fucking squawk a little bit loud to find them. You need to be bright. You need to, and that goes for like fucking relationships too. You're too noble. You're out there fucking trying to white knight it, being like, I have so much virtue. You ain't getting no attention. You got to have a little style, a little class. There's girls like bad boys for a reason. It's not that you're a bad boy, but these are gears. You got to be able to puff your chest up a little bit. Go into a place and fucking just kind of like own it, or just be like, this is who I am. I'm not a dick, but I give off dickish energy sometimes, because that's just my de facto. Sit in a bar, drink a drink by myself, and just kind of like, I just am me. And then like, you attract stuff. Fucking, I was writing in this wine bar, and this girl came up to me. She asked me if I was like in the music industry or some shit. I was just giving a vibe off that I didn't give a fuck about anyone around me. I was in my own thing. I was super high, and I was reading fucking Zen Buddhism. I was in my own world. There could be 100 people around me, or there could be no people. I was in fucking ancient Japan, 1200s, reading about Dojin or whatever the fuck. I was deep in the shit. And this beautiful girl, she's a dancer and model. She's like, hey, what are you into? Are you in the industry? She said she fucking danced on with Rihanna or some shit. And then her boy comes up like 5 minutes later, and their whole crew. She was probably just being friendly, but still. I was like, I was off the cell phone by then. I think I gave her my email address. Chicks in New York ain't gonna fucking email you. Maybe in like Santa Cruz or some shit. I was just like, I wanted to keep in contact with her. I was like, that's fucking, there's some reason why she came over to talk to me. This is cool. But fucking, I was just like, oh, and I shared a joint with him too. And then yeah, that's what I like. They're all heavy smokers too. Her boy came over, put an arm around her waist and some other shit. I was like, oh, this is a different score than I thought it was. I was like, yo, let me put my email address in your phone. I didn't. That's the thing, is if you stumble, you talking, you walking together, and you stumble, talking with her. It was cool. It was smooth. I somehow transitioned from, no, I'm not in the industry. I'm writing about Zen Buddhism. Writer, publisher. That's how I talk to people. I was like, well, it's tough. When I said I'm a real estate agent, that wasn't a big deal. But when I had my own company, I was like, my own company is different. You have a different type of swag. You're like, yeah, I don't have the most shit, but I own it. Everything I have, I own. And I could you just have different conversations. Fucking, talk to other people who own businesses, big or small. We can like talk about different shit, trying to grow your business, different ways of looking at shit. More responsibility. You took on more responsibility. Not that I've treated that responsibility well, but so the advertising. I was relating that to women. That's the thing. Is like, it's the same ways that I could get caught up trying to explain this. I could get caught up trying to explain this about like ads or women. Is that like, Shaz, are you telling us to lie? No, but it's like LeBron James. I could get mad at him for flopping, but I understand it's a game, basketball, and they're trying to maximize their odds and their percentages within the context of that game. You do it too much, you're an asshole. It's just, even though technically James Harden plays within the rules, it's a bitch to play against him because he's getting so many foul calls against him. Everyone's like, fuck it, we can't even play the fucking game. Like, but I'm not sure what he's doing. He's just, the way he plays makes it hard to defend him without fouling. Maybe there's a quickness there. Maybe there's a natural thing he does. When the Lakers played him, you saw multiple Lakers putting their hands behind their back. That was like their protest. It's like there's pictures of the Lakers. It's like, why is their hands behind their back? Because they were so mad at the officials calling them for reaching in, they would literally fucking chicken wing it. That's hilarious. But I thought it was like a Conor McGregor thing. I thought they're just gonna swipe, but now they're like protesting. But so I get that. So that's what we're doing, in real estate. So technically, I wouldn't do it every month. I would tell the clients I did it every month, but once, twice a year, since I would review my business, I would make sure my ads are comparable to the market. What's not fair is we can't advertise every apartment that's available because apartments have contracts with certain agents. So there's this, out of the whole market, maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of it, I forgot the ratio, I think it's less than half, are open, which means all brokers can advertise them. So there's a couple different factors going on here. So those are the ones that all the brokers who don't have contracts with landlords, which I'm representing client interest, so I'm trying to get renters' interest, so I'm trying to get their attention. If we leave it to where all the apartments have contracts, none of us can advertise them. How does that benefit the client? How does it benefit the market? So that's the thing. Sometimes legislatures come into a market trying to regulate it, saying we need more honesty. You need if the apartment you're advertising needs to be available. You don't realize the fucking man hours going into our business. And I would tell the clients, I'd be like, if I try to keep my ads current to the market, that would be my whole time. I'm one guy. That's what they do when you first get into the business. You start the way, I'm dropping out a lot of the way I grew this business, but a lot of it's just observing how people are using their time, and it's not effective. When you first come into the business, there's a lot of burn and churn. There's a reason why 9 out of 10 agents stop doing it after a year. There's a reason why the average money they're making is only $40,000, because you get on a team and we give you the shit work because you don't know anything to do. You don't know what you're doing. So the first week I was in, just send you to a bunch of apartments, take pictures and everything. Now that team has really nice pictures of the latest apartments on the market, but you have no time to go out and get clients because all you're doing is taking pictures for your team. And then eventually, one of those stale ass fucking pictures, because it's now a week, 2 weeks old, gets you a fucking client, and then you take them out, and then you get 1/4 of that commission. Half of it goes to the company, and then half of it goes to the team. And they're having you do all the bitch work, and that's how industries like. I saw it in insurance. Luckily I learned insurance with my folks, who just did 50-50 with me, so I never had to be the bitch on a team. And then the same thing with fucking real estate. As soon as I got in real estate, I was like, fuck this shit, I'm getting all my money. But that meant that I can't do the normal thing, and that's what the barrier to entry is, that, well, I can't have a team, and I don't have enough time to do all this shit myself. And how can, if I'm running 200 ads, 400 ads, if I'm running 200 on different platforms and shit like that, how am I going to keep 400 ads relevant? You can take pictures of maybe 5 to 10 apartments a day. Like, that's maybe 10 apartments. I could show 10 apartments to clients. I could fucking do them on my own. And then building the ads, this and that. So if you could build, that's 20 days out of the month. And then what? And then I'm fucking taking, so I have 1 week to work to close my whole business and do it again. I have no days off. And all of those are fucking like 12-hour days. Or even more, because it's like 8 hours just to get those 10 apartments and take the pictures and get around town, get the keys, return the keys to the landlord, this and that. Then you have to build the ads, so it's fucking a half an hour an ad, another 5 hours. Fucking literally half an hour an ad to fucking write the copy, put the pictures up, make sure they're nice, maybe edit them, this and that. And then actually post them to the listing service. You have like 3 listing services you're going to do. A half an hour is conservative. So now we have fucking 5 hours for that. We'll say we did the fucking half an hour. We'll say it's 10 hours. No, you can't do a fucking apartment every half hour. I would do that when I'm showing, but all the apartments concentrated. Whenever we leave a neighborhood, we're fucked. I have to do more than a half an hour of showing. So that's fucking, it's really like a 13, 15 hour day. For fucking what? For half the month or more? Just to keep it relevant, just so you can fucking call me and say, is that apartment available? We're not getting paid for that shit. We're getting paid to broker. We're not getting paid to set up a free fucking database. That's what it is. Market information takes man hours to keep updated. The reason why StreetEasy can offer it and other people can offer it is because they have a hustle where they're getting people to put information on their side. Facebook isn't creating content. It's a platform for content, and then it monetizes it. StreetEasy isn't creating content. It's a platform for content, and monetizes it. You can't hold us to their standards. And they're also, now you have disincentives. And that's why these client-facing markets are corrupted, because you have disincentives to keep stale apartments up there. Because if I pay $15 a week on StreetEasy or whatever the fuck it is now, but it's something like that, $15 a week or something. I don't know, they keep changing up their monetization to fucking put an apartment up there. And then I rent the apartment. Why would I fucking take it down? I paid the money. It's creating leads for me. And people would tell me, they're like, I keep getting bait and switched. I keep thinking I'm going to see them. And I would tell them, I solved that problem, but I solved it in a different way. But that's what it is. I solved it in a way where the results are getting me good reviews and good clients. So why would I fucking, but after, this is where, since I don't fucking respect the government and the fucking, the ways that they interact with the markets and everything like that, this would be like, I guess, a libertarian Republican side of me, where I'm like, I'm delivering a good service. I'm doing it in despite fucking people possibly being able to crack down on my advertising by keeping my advertising as close as I can to the market. But also what I realized in Bonn, New York, is that, because I've always suspected that about the government, they regulate markets they don't understand. This is just going to be another example. But I also noticed if I would put too good of a deal out there, like I could go out there and put like a $1,500 3-bedroom in the lower west, in the West Village. And I did that a couple times. I would just add a bedroom to an apartment, create a crazy deal. You get some bullshit clients, some fucked up, because you don't realize how many people are looking on there. There's a long tail of crazies in New York looking for fucking a 1-bedroom apartment for $1,000 in a great neighborhood. And they're stupid enough to think they can find it. So if you put it out there, you get irrational clients. So you realize that if the market is here, this is what the prices are in the market. I actually want to be pretty much in the market. I want to be towards the bottom end, but I don't want to be outside of it. So at least twice a year I would try to. I wanted every quarter, but it was a lot of work. I was working every day almost. I would take my breaks when I made my money, but when I'm out of the busy part of the month, I would go back and redo the business. And then in the winter, when the winter really slows down, that's when I go back into the ads. And then I try to do it at least once more, because the winter and the summer are very different in prices. And I'd make sure, like, if there's no studios in the West Village under 2,000, then I'm going to have my lowest ad at like 2,000, maybe even 2,100. I don't want the bottom of the market. And if I'm outside of the market, I'm getting clients who should be renting somewhere else who think that they should get something in the West Village. And then it's bad clients. It's annoying, because I only can take so many phone calls, so many emails. And so these guys are like, but your ad says blah, blah, blah. So like if I got enough of those client calls, I would pull the ad, or I just bump it up. I'm like, this is too far outside the market. I'm getting too many bad clients. But how we keep it at the bottom of the market, because these guys, they fucking contact you on a $2,200 studio, but their budget is $25, $26. And if you don't make, this is just how the world works in sales. If you don't have some salesmanship to you, that's what the guy I learned when I was selling cars for that week. It's like he wanted to be sold the car. Like people, there's a tactful thing. Like when they tell me what their price is, I would do it tactfully. I would be like, are you sure that's your price? But I'd make sure to say, are you sure? And I would say, can we go up a couple hundred? And they'd be like, oh no, everyone tries to do that. I'm like, no, I just have to say it. Because there's people who will start at 2,000, their budget's really 25. I'll show them fucking 5-10 apartments at 2,000. And then they're like, well, let's go to 25. So I'd make sure on the first phone call, this is all stuff you learn how to do, just from making these mistakes and iterating and paying attention to your process. This is why when I'm saying I want to run for president or something, it's like I know I can iterate towards a system and a process. Whether I can do it this fast for this high of a fucking level is a whole nother thing. But it's a bigger challenge than what I did. And the challenge I did is a pretty fucking hard thing to do, to make the money I did the way that I did, with no contracts with landlords. Most people start making real money in real estate because they get the contracts with the landlords. They do it easy. I don't know anyone who's built a system like I did and turned it into a salary job just based off of fucking metrics and analytics and shit. I knew how to jump in and out of the market, get who I wanted, and then fucking I'm done. I knew exactly where my clients were. I knew how to set the right expectations, and this is all just fucking, so yeah, I'd be like, I forgot my pitch. I think I have it recorded or some shit. But I'd be like, I'd force him to here, let's go on. Let's go to fucking my website. I'll read my pitch. R4LNYC.com. Rent for less NYC inquiry form. I would say that's another thing, using Google Docs. Before you even talk to me, you're filling this out. That's why I learned. That's one of the fucking iterations that hugely freed up my time. This is probably what allowed me to smoke weed again. I ain't talking to no one until I have their information in front of me. No more fucking, every now and then when the market's hot and it's popping, I'll be like, all right, I need to start taking phone calls, or I could do these fucking where I'm talking to you. But even then, we're talking, and while we're talking, I'm filling out this form where I'm doing the questions. Actually, I'm filling out the form because this populates a spreadsheet. So why would I write it down on paper and then type it in later on? So while we're on the phone, I'm like, just hold up 1 second. Pull up my website. First name, your last name, your cell, email. I'm not sure if I want to give you my last name. Well, we We need a little bit of good faith between us. I'm gonna be getting knowing a lot more than your last name. That's a red flag too. So I'm gonna know your bank statements, your tax returns, this and that. You can't give me your last name. That's an off ramp. Fucking email. I just want to know about that apartment though, if it's available. Like a couple minutes, I'll be able to send you all the apartments I have. And since I kept at least a couple times a year my inventory within the market, these are all the same fucking apartments. So it would surprise me even. It's like, because it wasn't on a sale, that in the market analysis I send them, fucking, not every time, but like 50-50, it was good odds that that apartment is still available. There's an apartment like that. Sometimes I beat it, where like, they're like, you sent me better stuff than what I contacted you on. So if I was sending people stuff and it wasn't representative of what they contacted me on at all, I'd have to tighten up my advertising, because that's just, I'm not going to get good reviews and shit. You're going to get a reputation. So I didn't get a reputation for baiting and switching people, but I would have put the nicest, and that's another thing. I didn't take these fucking pictures. Oh, here, I'm going to read this whole thing first. Email. Oh, fuck, I have to type it in. Motherfucking Shaz. All of these are required. I don't let people skip it. It's like, no, this isn't fucking choose your own adventure. This is Shaz way or the highway. When people would say, this ain't Burger King. All the like brokers we get our little fucking overcoming objections thing. Income, student with no guarantor, freelancer, salary, blah, blah, blah. Total move-in budget, less than 3 times, 3 to 5 times, more than 5 times. I didn't understand what your total move-in budget. Oh, that's beautiful. That is Shaz's segue to the fee conversation. Because I'm not gonna, the subtleness. You walk up to a girl in the bar. Do you fuck on the first date? Maybe, but not with you. You walk up to a girl in the bar. Is that a Michael Kors bag? No, that's a bad one. This is what my gay friend asked him. How do you approach people at bars in New York? He was like, I walk up and I say, hi, my name is so-and-so. Hi, my name is Shaz. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, introduce yourself to people. You'll find out fucking it works. It's like, you don't need to fucking be cheesy. Hey, my name is Shaz. That's all. There's a reason why you're looking at them. They were looking at you. By the time you walked up, there's body language when you came over, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, we notice people around us. Stuff happens. You don't have to make it a big deal. And funny thing, hey, this is a fucking good song, right? You're sitting down. That's what New York, we're not even looking at each other. We're all looking at the bar, chilling. I love Lou Reed. Fucking New York. There's a certain couple people that you fucking have to listen to while you're in New York. Lou Reed, Leonard Cohen, fucking Bob Dylan. Okay, stuff like that. Just talk about life. What are you drinking? I'm drinking fucking whiskey neat, because that's what writers drink. That's what someone told me. Well, ever since he told me, I started drinking it. So I guess it's true. I don't know. What is that? Or you tease fucking. What's the thing I've said to a girl before? I don't know. Who knows how people start conversations? It doesn't matter. You might not even remember. Fucking, anyways. Yeah, 3 to 5 times rent was that's how I got off the subject. I'm like, I'm not sure what your total move-in budget was. Well, you're going to need first month's rent, last month's rent. You're going to need, what is it? It's a way to talk about how much money they're expecting to spend, which is a way to talk about my fee. Is you're going to need first month's rent, 1 month deposit, and a broker fee, usually to get an apartment. Or was it? I don't even fucking remember my sales pitch. What was it? You're going to need 3 to 5 months rent to close an apartment in New York City. 3 months on the low end and 5 months on the high end. I'm going to tell you where all those amounts are going. There's just ways like that. Ways to articulate yourself. You slow down. You make sure you're getting buy-in and agreement. You're allowing them to voice their objections. That's a part of the sales process. This is a part of the sales philosophy. And then you can apply that to girls. I'm probably fucking better at approaching women when I'm doing sales. And then fucking, now that I haven't been doing sales, I've been doing the fucking writing and reading all this year. I'm fucking, I'm probably somewhat, not antisocial, but rusty social. But, anyways, you basically, the theory behind it is that, and this sounds rapey, and that's why this whole fucking consent conversation is not dealing with how the real world operates. In sales, not in relationships, because it's going to sound really bad, is that fucking, that's what it is. It's like And people don't really say no. How human behavior works, people aren't like, I want that, I don't want that. These fucking social engineers who fucking try to engineer positive human behavior, this and that. It's a lot more subtle than that. In sales, people are, you can't address a concern if they don't voice it, and people feel uncomfortable voicing concerns. That's just human behavior. People feel uncomfortable being negative, this and that. They can feel uncomfortable about confrontation. So the salesman, the good salesman, makes them comfortable, allows them to be comfortable voicing their concerns, which are going to get in the way of the sale. The bad salesman will try to sell them no matter what, regardless of their concerns. The good salesman will solve their concerns, will frame them in a problem-solution fashion, and show them that I have solutions to your problems, and then leave it up to them to decide whether the price of the service is worth the solution to their problem, because that's what brokers do. They solve problems. So that 3 to 5 months total moving budget is a way for me to just a seed that's going to open up a conversation. Almost everyone brings that up before I bring it up, and I love it because it's a segue to my fucking way of developing objections. And you can't overcome objections until you develop them, until you allow the client to voice them, because they're hearing in their ear, don't pay a fee, don't pay a fee, which in a slower market, if all the landlords are paying us, that's great. But I did this in a fucking tight market where if you didn't pay the fee, the next guy would pay a fee. Now it's a little bit harder, but even then, fucking, if you want certain apartments, you have to pay a fee. And the that's just, it's supply and demand and everything. People are doing, landlords back then weren't paying broker fees. Landlords now are paying broker fees. So now that's like double dipping. If you can get from the landlord and you get from the client anyways, that's the ethical thing. Like, did you have to get it from the client? But it's more complicated than just people saying, why don't we just have an online database where we have apartments and then we could just cut the broker out? Because someone has to rent you the apartment. Landlords are going to do it. It's not worth their time. Someone has to do all that paperwork and all that legwork. It's a market. Do all markets require brokers? Maybe not. Maybe there's technological solutions to that. That's another thing. I can't speak about this objectively while I'm in it. Now that I'm out of it, I could look at it objectively and think, all right, can we automate brokers out of the system? Well, if I could figure that out, then I attach a little bit of a fucking service fee on that. That's my competitive advantage. So being so close to this problem, justifying brokers because I'm a broker is one thing. But now I step out. If there's profit to be made, someone's going to fucking figure it out. So you can innovate the market where you could cut brokers out. People would fucking do it. But there's a reason why it hasn't been done. I felt a lot of job security. And if I go to New York looking for a certain type of apartment, I'd probably get a broker's help. I just check their work to make sure that if the landlord's paying them, I'm not paying them. I don't want them to double dip. But that's just like checking a mechanic. A mechanic is justified for certain jobs. You're not going to hire, you can if you want, rent the equipment to pull out your engine. But when you need to pull out your engine and do shit, get a mechanic. That's a broker. It's for a specialized job. Just make sure he's not fucking you. So you know a little bit, and I know a little bit about the real estate industry to make sure they're giving an honest service. And I would give an honest service. But yeah, in the sales process, the sales philosophy and stuff like that as it relates to girls too. You wanted to figure out what is really concerning them. And that's really how you relate this to approaching the opposite sex. Is I get this all the time. The girl in Puerto Rico says I'm a bro. I'm like, I'm not a fucking, I know bros. I hang out with bros. I'm not a fucking, I'm a sensitive fucking, I get made fun of for fucking being too sensitive. I'm like, I cry in moonlight and shit. Like things touch my soul. Fucking, but I know how I come off. That's what it is. And then you have to, that's an objection. This girl in Puerto Rico doesn't want to fuck a bro. So I have to fucking get that out of her. Well, how do you, and it's not just as simple as how do you see me, but things like this. 3 to 5 months, what's your total movement budget? That's an excuse for us to talk about the fee. And I don't just go straight at the fee. You start circling the truth until you get to it. You get to the point where we're on the same page, but there's so fucking PTSD from all the bullshit that we're walking our way at the end of a 3 or 5 minute conversation. People tell me all the time, no one explained to me the market like you did. You seem very knowledgeable. People work with me because they thought I was good at what I did. But I walked them from we were enemies on the beginning of the conversation to like, I'm on your side, and all I ask is two things: don't shop with someone else, and agree to pay me, and I'll fucking do the best I can. That's all you can hope for in life. And then at the end of that honest conversation, if you really wanted to do the job yourself, you're the person who wants to be your own mechanic. Great. I probably like fucking. There's sometimes I'd be a mechanic too, my own mechanic. Some fucking what was it? Let me finish the rest of this, and then we're gonna wrap up fucking, and then we have one more hour, and then I'm gonna have to fucking move on to like another place I lived at. Bank statement or documents, pets. Fuck, I have to click this. And then what else do we have? Max rent, 25, 3,000, blah blah blah. Location, must have amenities. So outdoor space, Tribeca. That's what it is. People are talking to you with the wrong expectations about the market. There we go. That's good enough. And I'm basically, that's the first consultation over the phone. I would get that information and be in front of me. I'd say, oh, it looks like you're looking for a $2,500 studio. Are you sure you can't do 3,000 or is 25 the max? I'd have to, I'm not trying to upsell them. Everyone is so negative about fucking, because most brokers are fucking pushy assholes. But I just know my experience. And I tell them that. I basically say, because we're going to go out and within 24, 48 hours find you the right apartment. So we don't want to be changing this. So these are I just have to ask. The same thing with the money, this and that. There's ways to push them without. So how does that relate to fucking relationships? Is that basically, if you're in a bar in your public place and you're meeting someone, you're figuring out what they want and what you want. And so if you're looking for a hookup and the person isn't, there's a way to fucking figure that out without being just rude right up, like, yo, jump on this dick, this and that. There's a way within a couple minutes of talking to figure out where you're at in each other's lives. I mean, in your life. I don't know. How do you do that? Fucking, that's a lot more subtle. That's all just a vibe. Some girls, you get that vibe, and then some you don't. So fucking, I got this girl off anyway, we have to stick to the linear conversation or else I'm just gonna fucking loop back into my favorite memories and rants and tangents. And we only got fucking 6 hours left. We got this hour, which is 8 more minutes, and then we got fucking 6 more hours, Shaz. But I was talking about the marketing, and I was justifying my philosophy, or I was describing it. I don't think I have to justify it. So since I kept my ads, technically the apartments I could advertise, and technically they were within the market. Technically they weren't bait and switch. That being said, it was chance whether that specific apartment, if it was, because even if it wasn't that apartment, if there was one within that building, or even that landlord's buildings on that same block, I would feel like I could defend myself. Like no one can fucking find me. So the thing is, we're a regulated industry. So if like there was an auditor or someone who contacted me and I was too far outside the market, I could get a fine or some shit. You do right, fear no man. I was within something that I think I could defend. So that being said, I was in the business of having clients tell me what to do. And sometimes when they got too bossy on the phone, I'm like, we don't have a relationship right now. I try to offer a consultation, but if you want to tell me how things are, then it's not going to fly. So they were like, just learning that's life lessons. Learning how to be the service professional if you're the professional. But at the same time, don't be rude to people. This is a hard and fast stuff. You have to just learn by doing it. I wasn't a dick with people on the phone or else I wouldn't make any money. But sometimes, especially if the person I already knew that I wasn't going to take on as a client, you got to puff up a little bit. I would tell the people I'm training, I'm like, if you get an asshole, this is a time to practice your objection cycle or this or that. This is your time to just fucking go. I hate hanging up on people. I don't hang up. They hang up on me. And then I call them right back. As you gotta have in businesses like this, like calling sales businesses, your thick skin is your armor. So it's like, okay, we got a tough one. This is fun. This is fucking, so what we do is we just talk until they're tired of talking to me. And then when they hung up on me, I call them right back. And I'm like, I think we got disconnected. I'm sorry, what were you talking? I hung up on you. Oh, really? Okay. My bad. Okay, I love it. I love when people hang up on me and just call them right back. I think we got disconnected, but it's just fucking. They get so frustrated, and it's like that's probably bad, Shaz. You probably shouldn't take it out on the clients, but it's tough if you don't make it. If you don't have fun with it, if you don't have fun with what you're doing, and brokering, sales, stuff like that. There's these different gears, and sometimes you're in that fucking low gear. Sometimes you're in that high. Which is the low gear and which is the high gear? You can't be pushed away around in businesses like that. You can't just be fucking that eager fucking nice sales guy thing only goes so far. And then after a couple times of getting fucked, you realize, okay, I need a tough gear when I need the tough gear. I need to be able to push back. I need to. Life is a little bit more complicated than just fucking. Yeah. Anyways, so all that's happening, and now I'm fucking covering the blind spots about Pooks. And then she has that finance guy. That's what I was trying to explain. She was dating someone else. And we got 5 more minutes. I guess I could get over the first part of that conversation. Or that first part of that. I'm trying to get with her. I could tell she's has this other guy, and I get it out of her. That's the thing. The same thing. I'm getting the fucking objections out of the clients. With Pook, she didn't openly all volunteer that information. I just kind of sense that she's a little, not as fucking texting, stuff like that, just little stuff. I deal with clients all day. I know when people are fucking not ghosting me, but I know when people are seeing other brokers. I'm starting to see that macro God's eye view. It's like you have it over and over again. You do something over and over again every month. I'm in my fucking like 20th, 30th month iterating this cycle. So fucking, I can tell when someone was gonna ditch me on a fucking. I would double book my days, and I'm just like, so and so is probably gonna be the one who fucking flakes on me. And sure enough, so you start to tell the indicators when they get back to you, when they don't get back to you. Some of the documents I send them, I can see when they open them. So in the morning, they haven't even opened my document, and they're just saying, oh yeah. I'm like, so when I'm dealing with fucking a girl, I'm like, yeah, no, there's some other dude. I can feel something here. So I kind of get it out of her because I can't make my case. But I have to do it in a way where, like, remember, you sweat a girl too much about the dude, that's projection. But I'm saying it's cool. I'm not trying to, I understand. It's New York. We all have options. But I just want to know what I'm working with. She's like, yeah, I kind of met a guy before I met you, and it's kind of serious and this and that. And I'm like, ah. And he ended up marrying the girl he dated right after her. So he was trying to lock her down. He was in that marrying mode. And we were back and forth. She would hang out with me some. And then we hooked up. So then now we're having sex, but she's also kind of having sex with this guy still. She hasn't decided who's her dude, and I'm fucking right in there. So for Halloween, she has plans on Halloween. So I know she's gonna. This guy, of course, fucking asked her to go to a party. There's all these little parties in New York and shit. And I worked through all the holidays, but I was trying to give myself. I worked through New Year's. I worked through Christmas. When you're growing a business like this, you live, breathe, and when you say that, you do it. That's what it is. You literally wake up, you do this, you go to sleep. Your breaks are few and far between. You take them, but like you take them when the fucking business is quiet, not when you want to take them. It's like when you look at like all your metrics and all your lead stuff, and you're like, all right, today's the day that like I can't really push anything ahead. Let me take a me day. But other than that, when the fish are biting, you're just always trying to push it ahead. But so Halloween, I had a little bit of a break. And I'd planned it for her, and she went with that dude, and I'm like, fuck, I need to, and I know from my past, from like the Addy and other stuff, I'm like, I can't just sit around, and my roommate came home with his girlfriend, and I was like, I'm going to this party, I found some girl on OkCupid, and she invited me to some party, and that's how got me into that fucking underground party scene and shit. That's what women bring interesting things into your life. They do all the things that like I don't have the time to do, but then some good, interesting women are all in the fucking party scene. The Burning Man girls and the Rainbow Gathering girls and shit like that. So this was a hippie chick like that. Really cool girl. And so she was, so yeah, I went out. But I knew if I sat at home, I'd be doing that old thing that I used to do, which is just fucking puppy dog, please like me, please like me. And I was like, I just got to keep on with my life. Because people like vibrancy. People like that inner spirit. So you got to keep feeding it. You can't, if you sometimes it's a distraction. Everyone has to figure out their own life. But I knew myself at that time that I needed to get out. Sometimes you stay at home. If you get out, you're trying to avoid your problems. Be at home with your heartbreak. So I can't tell people when to do that and when to not. But I knew I had to get out that night and get my mind off of it. And I went out with this girl and brought her back home to the waterbed. It was hilarious to bring people back home to my waterbed. I was like, you got to check out. It's just an excuse to like, I don't even want to fuck you. I just want to throw you on my waterbed. But we're both probably going to fucking end up like playing on it. And yeah, she was an aggressive 69 girl. She was like, whoa, shit, your ass is in my face now. This is what we're doing. She was beautiful. And her hair smelled like fire because she had just gone camping. Never talked to her again. That's it. It was just a fucking online hookup girl. But it allowed me to stay calm until Pooks came around. And I forgot why Pooks eventually decided to. We just kept hanging out more. She kept hanging out with the other guy less. But I just stayed chill until she made her decision. The same thing as fucking sales. They have to walk towards you. You can't force people to love you. You can't force people to do the same.